I am Deepak Phadnis. We will continue today with the fourth episode of reading biography of Jagadguru Tukaram Maharaj. The reason for reading this biography is like this. I will explain. There are many people who come from abroad and they come to Pune for meetings in IT business or any other business industry people. They come for discussions, and during the weekends they visit to some sightseeing. So many of them visit Dehu temple of Jagadguru Tukaram Maharaj. And when they come to know about the life story of Tukaram Maharaj, they are completely dazed. They are really amazed. And they say that we never knew that there was such a great saint, Tukaram, and he has written Abhang Gatha, which has 4,538 verses. Abhang. They are amazed. And then they say that, okay, we would like to read more about him. We will like to know more about his life. And do you have any book in English? Unfortunately, there are no books which are available in Dehu nearby. Even in Pune, the books, really speaking, there are very few books in English giving life journey of Tukaram Maharaj. So I thought that in these videos, I'm going to read the authentic biographies written by people like this Vishnu Shastri Pandit. And that will be a good reference if anybody would like to know about the great Tukaram Maharaj. This is the way they can know. And so, if you know about anyone who is curious and would like to learn more about the life of Tukaram Maharaj, you please can refer him to watch these videos. Today is the fourth episode. I will now share the screen so that you can also read along with me. Let's proceed. Yes, so here it is. Last time we were reading this footnote on page 22 of the book of Vishnu Shastri Pandit. And I will read the note once again because it is a very important note. The lineage of Tukaram Maharaj. It is basically Babaji Chaitanya. So let us read this. The Chaitanyas are a very large sect of the Vaishnavas in Bengal. It was founded by the person whose name it bears about the end of the 15th century. Chaitanya is said to have disappeared from this world and to have bodily returned to Vaikuntha like Tukarama. The object of the worship of Chaitanyas is Krishna, whom they regard as the Paramatma and both the cause and the substance of creation. The chief features of their faith is sketched by H. Wilson in his essays and lectures on the religion of the Hindus are the identification of Vishnu with Brahma in common with all the Vaishnava sects and the assertion of his possessing in that character sensible and real attributes in opposition to the Vedanta belief of the negative properties of God. The identity of Krishna and Chaitanya is believed in, and the whole religious and moral code of the sect is comprised in one word, bhakti, which signifies a union of implicit faith with incessant devotion. As all men are alike capable of feeling the sentiments of faith and devotion, it followed as an important consequence of the doctrine that all castes become, by such sentiments, equally pure. The Nama Sakirtana or constant repetition of any of the names of Krishna or his collateral modifications is declared to be the peculiar duty of the present age and the only sacrifice the wise are required to offer. It is of itself quite sufficient to ensure future felicity through other duties, though other duties or sadhanas are enjoined, the principle of them being fasting every 11th day, singing and dancing in honor of Krishna, suppressing anger, avarice, and lust, and servilely venerating the spiritual teacher, which was technically called Guru Pada Ashray. The reader of Tukaram will perceive the close affinity of Tukaram's doctrines with those sketched above. His God is the same as that of the Vaishnavas, Krishna, though worshipped under the name of Vithoba, and he often emphatically calls himself Vaishnava Bhakta to indicate the sect he belonged to. When and under whom the Chaitanya sect spread its doctrines in the Deccan, that is not known. Okay, so let us say, let us now proceed with the main text. The last line on this main text was a translation of Abhanga 368, and now we go further to Abhanga 36. No, the last line is not yet completed, so let's read that. So, his guru, his own name he gave out to be Babaji, and he gave me the sacred formula Ram Krishna Hari, observing that it was Thursday, the 10th of Magh Shuddha, he made me his own. So on the day of Magh Shuddha Dashami, Tukaram Maharaj got enlightenment. And that is why that day is celebrated quite a lot. Now we will move to 369. Knowing the desire of my mind, the king of teachers has used adequate means. He initiated me into the simple sacred formula of my liking, such a formula as would not cause perplexity anywhere. Some saints have crossed, others are crossing this sea of earthly life according as he is clever or ignorant, and according to his liking. Each receives a float of canoes, rafts, or of goods to cross by this material ocean. Tuka says, for me, he, the great teacher in his dream, he pointed out Panduranga, the very sea of kindness, as my ship. So he told Tukaram Maharaj that your ship is Panduranga, Taru. Then come to 370. Throwing all weight of difficulties on Vithoba, I lived without any anxiety. The saints entrusted me to him. So see how he got complete relief, relaxed. It is very important that the mind should be relaxed. He touched me kindly on the head and told me that I need entertain no anxiety. With hands placed akimbo and his beautiful feet placed close in a line, he stands on the banks of the Bhima. O Keshava, all other efforts are over for this creature. He has caught thy feet. Thou infinite, do what thou likest now. The saints have my shame. So the saints have protected me. Now nobody can bring me to shame. I'll become yours. That is the end of 370. Then we will read 371. Know this determination of my mind, Tukaram Maharaj is saying. Know this determination of my mind. I have now become ready to give away life itself. I will take to none else but thyself. I have thrown off fear, shame, doubt. There was already relation between me and thee, O infinite. The saints have strengthened it. I have placed my faith and my life on thy feet. That is all I have. There is nothing else. Now shouldst bear my shame now. Thou shouldst bear my shame now. You have to protect my shame. Tuka says, the saints have entrusted me to thee. I will not now leave thy feet. The next stage we arrive at in Tukaram's life is the time when he began to compose poems. This is a great incident. The incident which led him to it, he tells us in verses 1320-21. Namadeva awakened me in a dream accompanied by Panduranga. He prescribed to me the task of composing poems, warning me not to spend time in useless talk. He measured out the quantity, Vitala holding the marker, and he encouraged me by patting me on the back. The numerical amount he mentioned was 100 crores, that is 1 billion. To complete which Tuka was to add whatever was wanting, which means whatever was incomplete. They wanted to complete the target of 1 billion and it had to be left incomplete because Namdev Maharaj's life came to an end. He was not able to complete that 1 billion. He could do 95 crore and 5 crores were remaining. So they came to Tukaram Maharaj and requested him, told him that now you must start doing the work to complete the target of Namdev Maharaj. So see how beautiful there is a continuation in the spirituality. You will be amazed to see the continuation, even the names. You will have to agree with me that this intelligent universe does things in its own planning because the saints' names, if you take them in a sequence, it shows the path for spirituality. Which are those names? It's like a poem. निवृत्ती ज्ञानदेव सोपान मुक्ताबाई एकनाथ नामदेव तुकाराम. So it starts with Nivrutti, then there is the Jnana, then there is the Sopan, that is the path. Muktabai is liberation. And Eknath, then you know that you have only one master. Namadev, that master is the name, the God of name. Name is God, God is name. So Eknath, Namdev, Tukaram. And Tukaram means you are yourself that. You are that. Tat Tvam Asi. So this, can you imagine all these saints were born, you can say one after another, over a period of centuries, and their names, if you take them together, it forms a poem which gives you the path of spirituality. Nivrutti Jnandev Sopan Muktabai Eknath Namdev Tukaram. So let's continue. So the numerical amount he mentioned was 100 crore to complete, which Tuka was to add whatever was wanting. 1321. If thou wilt give me place, I will live with thee always at thy feet in company with the saints. I have given up a place of which I was fond, so do not hold me off indifferently. Give me the lowest place, since I am of mean desert. With that, I shall attain peace of mind. To Tuka, thou hast appeared in a dream on account of Namdev. This favor he has stored up in his breast. That is the translation of 1321. Thus, according to Tukarama's own account, was received the first poetic inspiration which entirely absorbed his future life. He had already read and committed to memory many of the abhangas of Namdev, and it were Namdev's poems which, according to the dream, he was to supplement and bring up to the number of 100 crores. Now, who is Namdev? There is a footnote, so I will read that. Namdev, the oldest principal writer of Abhanga poetry, was of Shimpi or Taylor caste, Shimpi. He is represented by some a foundling, by others the son of Damashet and Gonai. He is said to have been a contemporary of Kabir. He was also a contemporary of Saint Dnyaneshwara. He was a worshipper of God Vithoba of Pandit, and he spent many years in Punjab and composed poems which are in fact a part of the Grantha, the Akshar Grantha, the Holy Grantha Sahib, Guru Grantha Sahib of the Sikh religion. And the Sikhs respect Saint Namdev very much. There is a Gurudwara by the name of Saint Namdev Maharaj in Nanded. And it's a very beautiful way, the way India is one country. Imagine a saint from Maharashtra going and settling down in Punjab, and people loving him and coming to Maharashtra to the Gurudwara at Nanded. So we'll now move on to the reading part. The 100 crore and Abhanga, evidently not Tukarama's, mentions that he composed 5 crores and 34,000 of them, the number which was wanting to complete the 100 crores which Namdeva had intended to compose. The following collection can certainly lay no pretensions to contain this incredible number. It contains about 4,621. So this Parshuram Shastri's Gatha is having 4,621 Abhanga, while the Dehu Gatha is having 4,538. There is another one, the Gangu Kaka Shirvalkar Gatha is having much lesser. They are almost just like 4,050. So let us continue further. So it contains about 4,621, though each stanza sometimes contains as many as 100 couplets. There are. It must be remembered, moreover, that Tukaram had latterly acquired such facility in composing abhangas, a meter already the simplest in Marathi verse, that he almost spoke in them. He spoke in abhangas. Wow, that was he's such a master. His principal occupation by this time was the bhajan and the katha. The bhajan is the devotional service of God, generally in verse. It is held in public. In it, the preacher or principal person sings out hymns or poems, and his followers, if any, take up and repeat them. It is unaccompanied with any explanation. These bhajans must have given scope to Tukaram to pour out endless number of abhangas composed extempore on the spot, which of course were never taken down or intended to be recorded, and so have not come down to posterity. That this supposition is not ideal may be inferred from the fact that at this very day, one Bhava, almost walking in the footsteps of Tukaram, may be mentioned as existing, who composes extempore abhangas all his bhajans. With regard to Tukaram, tradition informs us that such of his poems as he intended should outlive him. He dictated to someone of his disciples who always accompanied him to transcribe them or follow his other behests. The principal transcribers were, let me come up, Gangaji Mawar and Santaji Teli. These poems he generally composed in Vithoba's temple or at another lonely place, which is pointed out to a visitor of Dehu as the one where Tukaram sat alone and composed. The history of the MSS which have been made use of in the present edition will show that some of them are written by the recognized transcribers of Tukaram, and it is therefore probable that the poems in the following collection were all that Tukaram thought to be of permanent value, although he might have composed thousands of extempore ones in his daily bhajan. Oh, this is a new angle. I never knew this and I never thought like this. This author is thinking like that, and I agree with his thinking that there are probably thousands of more abhang which have not got written down, and so we don't know them. So the score really doesn't stop at 4,600 or 4,500, but it could be thousands and thousands more. Let's see the next paragraph. Tukaram's fame began to spread far and wide with his poems, the publicity of which was ensured by the most efficient machinery that could be had in those times. It was the Katha, which by this time had become Tukarama's regular employment. Pravachan, it is called Kirtan, Katha, Pravachan. The Katha is the most pleasant and the most impressive form of lecture or sermon that exists in Marathi. In it, the preacher, after the preliminary prayer in verse, quotes a text from some poet as the thesis on which he is to preach on that occasion. This he expounds, illustrates, amplifies by quotations from various authors, intermixed with tales legendary or otherwise. Singing is an indispensable part of a katha. The quotations the preacher introduces are taken up and finished by the chorus. In Tukaram's case, the impressive character of this form of preaching was heightened by the fact that he preached with all the intensity of his devotedness and inward convictions, and without receiving a single pie as remuneration for his preaching. Tukaram Maharaj has written some abhangas in which he says that a kirtankar should never take money for kirtan. He should not even take anything like even that bukka which is applied to the forehead. He should bring everything with him. He should not take anything where he goes for kirtan. That is the rule according to Tukaram Maharaj. And so let's move on to page 10 with the page 10 of this, which is actually on the PDF. It is page 25. With the spread of Tukaram's fame came also the many personal torments and sore trials to which he was subjected, which however thoroughly tested the superhuman virtues of the man and made him what he is now regarded to be, a type of holiness, resignation, truthfulness, disinterestedness, humility, devotion, and sympathy, and a savior of mankind. Let's remember these words, my dear friends. Here I'll take a pause and I will say, let us write down all these adjectives in golden letters. This is what is Tukaram Maharaj. That is why he is known as Jagadguru, the teacher of the world, and his teaching is going to benefit the entire world with when they read it. We have to read to get the benefit. And God is great. He motivated me to start translating these in 2016. And on the day the Palki was going from Dehu to Pandharpur, 27th of June 2016, I made my beginning, and today I have translated Abhanga 2460. It is a long journey. I have completed 55% of the road. I still have to walk another 45% of the road. But the day is not far away when we will have a complete Abhanga Gatha in English. I think we will read for only 5 minutes more and then take a stop. Okay, so let's see. So the golden words are the trials to which Tukaram Maharaj was subjected, brought about, and made him what he is now regarded to be. What is Tukaram Maharaj? One, holiness. Two, resignation. Ideals. These are the ideals in life for anybody who is interested in spirituality. Holiness, resignation, truthfulness. Lies don't work in spirituality. You have to be truthful. You can't lie. Yoga, the Ashtanga Yoga says you cannot say even one lie. It's not allowed. You have to speak the truth, whether bad, good, whatever. And there are very few exceptions when truth, you are allowed to diverse from truth. What is that exception? It says that if somebody's life is in danger, when you speak the truth, it is at that time that yoga, the religion, and Ashtanga yoga allows you to not speak the truth. Rather, they insist that don't speak anything, don't lie, don't speak the truth, but don't lie. That is the rule for yoga and rule for religion, rule for spirituality, because in God's kingdom, truth prevails. Truth, truth, and truth, nothing else. One name of God is Satyam Shivam Sundaram. So once again, let us repeat. Tukaram Maharaj is holiness, resignation, truthfulness, disinterestedness, dispassionate, and resignation means that is tyag and not taking interest in the worldly affairs, disinterestedness, that is 4, 5, humility, 6, devotion, 7, sympathy, and 8, savior of mankind. He is indeed a savior of mankind. If you look at the scene in Maharashtra, people love Saint Gnaneshwara, Saint Tukaram, Saint Eknath, Saint Ramdas, Look at them, see the culture of Maharashtra and how people love these saints and do so much of charitable work, so much of helping the society, the humanity. They do so many inventions, they are top at so many professions. They are at the peak. Maharashtra is the most prosperous state of India. Mumbai is the most prosperous city of India, contributing probably 25% of the revenue of the whole nation. And what is at the base of all this? Gyanba Tukaram culture. We are born in Gyanba Tukaram culture. We know we have the values of humanity, mankind. We respect all these things: holiness, resignation, truthfulness, disinterestedness, humility, devotion, sympathy. We respect all these qualities, and that is what has made Maharashtra great. Let this go to the whole world. Let the whole world read Gatha in English and become proud owners of this heritage. Gatha is a heritage. The heritage has come from the heaven, the same heaven where Jesus lives, where Lord Vishnu lives, where Allah lives, where all the gods, where they live. This is Tukaram Maharaj has composed many abhangs in Hindi on Allah for Muslims. He has guided Muslims also. We will come to that when we read some of those abhang. So it is the same heaven from where these abhangas have come on the earth and we have benefited in Maharashtra. Now it is turn of the whole world to benefit from these. It is my humble submission that all the libraries in the world should have the Abhanga Gatha in English and people should read them. It's not just arts colleges, it's also the libraries of public libraries, government libraries, private libraries. Some people even have their own personal libraries. So let them buy the Gatha and keep it so that the teachings of Tukaram Maharaj will spread and that will have the right effect on the mankind. He is a savior of mankind. Why you should read Gatha is because it is written by the savior of mankind, Sri Tukaram Maharaj, Jagadguru Tukaram Maharaj. Let me try to read a little further. I'm becoming a little bit emotional because of my love for Tukaram Maharaj. But it is true that the more you read about Gatha, the more you read Gatha, first time, second time, third time, the more you read Gatha, the more you fall in love with Tukaram Maharaj and you start understanding the beauty, you understanding the greatness of Gatha and greatness of Tukaram Maharaj. So let's continue. All Brahminical pride and superstition were arrayed against him, a Shudra. Tukaram Maharaj was considered to be a Shudra of a lower caste, so who had dared to expound the Vedas, and who, on account of his devotion, had caused disturbances in the established order of things. Though of a low caste, these simple hearted, honest people began to prostrate before him, an honor which the pride of the Brahmins told them to be their own monopoly. Men began naturally to take the word Brahmana in its sense of the knower of the Brahma or God and to regard Tukaram as a Brahmin and a Brahmra, and this feeling increased to such an extent towards the close of Tukaram's career that the priestly Brahmana family at Chinswad, Moria Gosavi, the temple in Chinswad, that's a Ganpati temple, Ganesha temple. Moria Gosavi, there was a very great saint there whose name was Moria Gosavi, and that was a Brahmin family. And there was in Gatha, there are the Abhanga when he was invited by the temple authorities at Chinswad. I will someday read out those Abhangas. So that the priestly Brahmin family at Chinswad, that of the Devas reputed incarnations of Ganapati, actually dined with him. He was invited for a royal lunch, and that was a great honor in that time. All this excited the fierce envy, prejudices, and thirst for revenge of the Brahmanas. Very tragic. The first sore trial which Tukaram had to undergo was one from Mambaji, a Brahman Gosavi. Oh, I am ashamed of Brahmaji, oh, Mambaji. Oh, God, horrible man. Horrible man. Mambaji, a Gosavi, Brahman Gosavi at Dehu, who was burning with jealousy at Tukaram's fame and his own non-entity. To keep up appearances, however, he used to be a daily attendant at his bhajan. He used to attend the bhajan of Tukaram Maharaj. My goodness. And Mambaji had a garden just behind the temple of Vithoba, which he had fenced in by fagots of prickly trees, which had thorns. On the 11th of a month, that is the Ekadashi, the holy day when everybody fasts, you don't eat, you can stay hungry the whole day. A day of great festival at Dehu, which attracted a very large concourse of pilgrims to the place. Tukaram saw these prickly fagots to have spread to the very temple and blocked up the passage of those who had come to take their rounds about the temple. Bambaji blocked them with the whole thoughts. He took them away with his own hand and cleared the passage. This incensed Mambaji to such a pitch that he thrashed Tukaram in the most cruel manner with those very prickly fagots. Calm even amid such bodily torture, Tukaram Maharaj continued his daily avocations unimpaired and felt no resentment towards his tormentor. He described the incident in the following verses. There are three verses which I think, let us read if we have the time because we are at the right situation. I don't want to stop. Let's see. I hope I have your permission. The first verse, 355. I will not leave thy feet, Vithoba. I will not. No sodi charana, no sodi charana. Let any heavy calamity come upon me, putting my life into great jeopardy. Let an armed man cut my body into 100 pieces. Still, I will not fear. For, says Tuka, I have prepared my mind and made it stationary at the very beginning. 356. Well, 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 Vithoba, thou hast done well. Barekele is saying, observing that there is forgiveness inside, thou hast let the outward body be chastised with prickly sticks. Also, by submitting me to disgrace by endless abuse, thou hast rescued me, says Tuka, from falling into the hands of anger. Look at what message he is getting, he is receiving, he is taking, he is interpreting the thrashing with thorns. He is interpreting that God has rescued him from falling into the hands of anger. It was an acid test, somebody hitting you with thorns for no reason. And are you getting angry? If you get angry, then you're a human being. If you don't get angry, you're a superhuman. And Tukaram Maharaj was a superhuman. 357. I am satisfied, I am satisfied, I am satisfied, O God. Whatever was in my good luck, that has come to pass. What is there for me to speak now with a guileless heart, I tried to clear the passage of its prickly fagots. Tuka says, I did that and have been also separated from the passions. Forbearance, forbearance. Let's see the footnote. It says, in visiting a temple, the usual way of paying respect to the idol among Hindus is to bow before the idol and then to go around it from the left to the right one or more times, as the idol is situated generally close to a wall. The sanctuary itself wherein it is placed is gone around. So forbearance such as this could not but have its effect. Mambaji is said to have been extremely humbled and became a great admirer of Tukaram. But a still greater trial was awaiting Tukaram by this time. As has been said before, his rising fame gave great umbrage to Brahmanas, one of them in particular named Rameshwar Bhatt, an inhabitant of Wagholi. Wagholi is a little away from Pune on the Aurangabad road, a village a few miles distant from Pune, and to the northeast of it, began to look upon him with great hatred. He succeeded in persuading the officer of the district that Tukaram, an ignorant Shudra, was a great heretic and got him to send an order to the Patil of Dehu to drive him out of the village. My God, I didn't know this. Tukaram has the following verse in reference to the incident. 676. I will read this and then maybe we will stop. What should I eat? Where should I go? Under whose protection should I live in the village? The Patil and all the people of the village have become angry with me. Who will now even give me alms? Who will give me alms? He has transgressed his bounds, they say, and take the matter for decision to a court of justice. Good people have insinuated the notion into him and brought ruin on me, poor wretch. His company is not good, says Tuka. Let me now go in search of Vithala. Tukaram went to Rameshwar Bhatt himself and asked his forgiveness. He continued to perform his bhajan and katha. However, even in Rameshwar Bhatt's presence, which very much incensed the Brahmana, he told Tukaram that in his katha he expounded the Vedas, which it was a sin for a Shudra to utter and for auditors to hear from him, and forbade him in future from composing any poems. My God. Tukaram replied that whatever worthless pieces he composed were by the commandment of Panduranga, because that is what the history he was told in his dream. Commandment of Panduranga, but since a Brahman's command was to him equally worthy of veneration, he would cease from composing anything in future and requested directions as to what should be done with the poems already composed. See how knave and simple Tukaram Maharaj was. Rameshwara Bhatt ordered that all the books of his poems should be drowned. He promised to do so, repaired to Dehu, uttered before Vithoba, what had taken place and threw the books into the river Indrayani with his own hand, taking care, says Mahipati. Mahipati is the one who wrote his biography, says Mahipati, to cover them on either side with thin slates of stone and wrapping them in a cloth. He was apparently easy for 5 days when the evil men of the village began to taunt him that he threw some time before all his bonds and other valuable securities into the river and thus ruined his worldly prospects. And now, by throwing his poems into the river, he ruined his prospects of the world to come, and that another man in his place would rather have ended his life. So look at those evil men. They are trying to make a mockery. So annoying. He gave up food. This taunt went deep to his heart, very deep. He gave up food and water and lay upon a stone in the courtyard of Vithoba's temple, resolving not to get up till Vithoba should hear his prayer. Verses 2222 to 2240 contain his breathings out on the occasion. In them, he supplicates Vithoba in a variety of ways to come to his protection and by some special mark of favor to save him from the disgrace to which he was reduced. He lay in this manner for 13 days without receiving any consolation. Should we continue or should we stop? I think let us stop here. There is a lot to read. Today we are stopping on page 27, the first paragraph. I am very happy that God is getting this service done through me. I'm only an instrument. If we all realize we all are instruments in the hands of God and we are acting in accordance with the divine order, with the divine will, and our willpower is actually a part of the divine willpower of the cosmic consciousness, the universal consciousness, or the God consciousness. And when we align our willpower with the divine willpower of God, then we have nothing to worry, no reason to worry. Okay, today we will stop here and meet again either on Wednesday or on the next Sunday night. But I would like to remind everybody, please come. Those who are in Pune, we are going to have the publication ceremony, the publication event of volume 2 of the Abhanga translations. The book is named Divine Verses, Abhanga Gatha. I will show you the book and which is going to be published on this holy day, the next Sunday. This is the second volume, which has translations from Abhanga 301 to 600. My dear friends, those who are in Pune, please do come for the publication event at 10:30 a.m. in the morning at Bharat Itihas Sanshodhak Mandal, and Dr. Ram Sadanand More, who is a great scholar of Saint literature and a direct descendant of Tukaram Maharaj, is going to be one of the chief guests. You will be able to hear his speech. And another guest of honor we have is Abhay Maharaj Tilak, Haribhakta Parayan Abhay Maharaj Tilak, who is also a great scholar of Saint literature, and his passion is in performing kirtans and pravachans. And a great man, a very humble man, and a very learned scholar, is also an economist, a great economist, a research man, and you will be able to hear his thoughts. He had spoken at the publication ceremony of the first book, which is the introduction to Tukaram Maharaj. in which we have given, in fact, QR code to hear every abhang. This is the first book, Introduction to Tukaram Maharaj, and it has 52 popular abhang, 52 popular abhang which we hear on radio every now and then. And for every abhang, there is a QR code. If you scan this QR code with your mobile, you'll be able to hear that abhang in the voice of the great singers like Bhimsen, Lata, Asha. So this is how it is. This book, Ave Maharaj Tirak spoke about this book, and he said something which I would like to just mention. He said that the day it should be written in golden letters. When the Gatha is coming to the world in English language, the simple reason why it should be written in golden words is it reminded Abhay Maharaj Tilak of an incident in the 13th century. What was that incident in the 13th century? In the 13th century, Saint Naneshwara brought the Bhagavad Gita from Sanskrit into a local vernacular language, Marathi. So Gita, which was inaccessible to the common man because Sanskrit was a privilege of only very few, and he brought Gita into the Marathi language, and Gita became available to the whole Marathi speaking world. The common man got access to Bhagavad Gita, the knowledge or the divine knowledge given by Lord Sri Krishna. And Abhay Maharaj said that when this Gatha is translated into English, Gatha, which was available only to the Marathi community, which is a very small fraction of the world's population, is now available to the whole world. Now the whole world has access to this divine knowledge and divine teaching of Tukaram Maharaj, and that's the reason he felt that that day should be written in gold. A thought which I only will keep us thinking. I am amazed. God is the doer. We all are the instruments in His hand. I pray to God that let me be able to complete the translation very soon and give the entire Gatha. Today we have finished 55% and the road is continuing. Let us stop here. I would like to thank you all. And if you have any questions, please do connect with me. I'll be very happy to get in touch with you. I'll stop sharing the screen here. And very humbly, I would like to say that we will say Ram Krishna Hari and we will meet on the next Sunday. Let's say bye bye. Thank you very much.